What is a deduction? A deduction, also called an inference, derivation, or a proof, is a sequence of formulas formed by obeying certain fixed rules, so-called deduction rules or rules of inference or rules of proof. The rules reflect correct thinking. A deduction is a simplified model of proving theorems in mathematics or in any other science. It tries to capture the rules of correct inference. Deductions are also called formal proofs. The study of deductions goes back to Aristotle, who gave the first set of rules of correct inference, so-called syllogisms, such as the following. Every man is mortal. Socrates is a man. Therefore Socrates is mortal. This does not only sound convincing, but it is even convincing if Socrates, man, and mortal are changed to anything else. For example, Anna, Finn, and European. So we get every Finn is European, Anna is a Finn, therefore Anna is European. It is important to acknowledge right in the beginning of the discussion on deductions or proofs that in practice one seldom writes proofs as carefully as we do in this course. Maybe a computer does, but humans talking or writing with paper and pencil certainly don't. For example, a scientist may perform various experiments and then draw a conclusion. The conclusion is usually not just a statement that such and such results were obtained in the experiments. Rather, the scientist is supposed to make also some conclusions of the type that the hypothesis made in the research project has been confirmed or rejected by the experiments. The conclusions may be based on an ingenious combination of conclusions from known theories and the new experiments. A need for a proof of a different kind may be the need to prove that a bridge does not collapse, a dam does not burst, a nuclear reactor does not go to meltdown, an operating system does not crash, a rocket does not explode on takeoff, and so on. In such cases, the proof, if such even exists, may be so complicated that it has to be written in a manner that the computer can understand and check for correctness. This manner may very well be the kind of pedantic formal proof that we now learn. There are computer-based proof assistants that help humans write very exact formal proofs. The point of introducing an exact concept of deduction is that on the one hand it throws light on the important process of making correct conclusions from given hypotheses, and on the other hand it subjects the concept of deduction to mathematical investigation. It is easy to check if a given deduction is correct. That is, whether it is written according to the deduction rules. Even a computer can check correctness of deductions. The difficulty is in finding the deduction. A big part of the creative work of a mathematician or of a researcher of some other science consists of trying to prove something that one believes must be true. Natural deduction is a particular system of writing deductions. As its name indicates, it attempts to imitate as far as possible human thinking. In natural deduction we have some assumptions, B1 to Bn, and we want to derive a conclusion A from them. Deductions are built from simpler deductions and assumptions by means of introduction and elimination rules. Let us first look at so-called direct deductions. These are the simplest ones. Here is a simple natural deduction. Let us look at its components. On the top there are assumptions A and B. Each horizontal line represents an application of an inference rule. The name of the rule, in this case conjunction introduction, is next to the inference line. The conclusion is at the bottom. We can see that this inference or deduction has this small inference as a sub-inference, even twice. This is the general pattern of deductions, that is inferences. They consist of pieces we put together, and each piece is a smaller inference. The smallest inferences are like the one above, in that they consist of just one inference line. Rules for conjunction. The essence of a deduction is that it is built by combining certain rules. The rules governing conjunction, trying to capture how we understand the word and, are as follows. The conjunction introduction rule says that if we have derived A and we have derived B, we can derive A conjunction B. The conjunction elimination rules say, there are two of them, if we have derived A conjunction B, then we can derive A, and also if we have derived A conjunction B, we can derive B. The idea of the conjunction introduction rule is very simple. If we know A and we know B, we know their conjunction, A conjunction B. Similarly for the conjunction elimination rule. If we know A conjunction B, we know both A and we know B. Let us look at a deduction involving the rules governing conjunction. We derive left parenthesis A and B, right parenthesis, and C from A and left parenthesis B and C right parenthesis. Assuming A conjunction left parenthesis B and C right parenthesis, we know in principle that A, B, and C hold and can be derived from A conjunction left parenthesis B and C right parenthesis by the rule conjunction elimination. To derive left parenthesis A and B right parenthesis and C, we first derive A and B and then combine this with C, which again can be derived from A conjunction left parenthesis B and C right parenthesis by the rule conjunction elimination. And then we get left parenthesis A and B right parenthesis and C. Now the deduction. First we derive A. Then B with two applications of conjunction elimination. So we have A conjunction B. Next we derive C with two applications of conjunction elimination. And finally we put together what we have got.